Hello everyone, my name is Emily Pfiffner, and I am here to answer some of those interview questions for the Principal Prep program. Number one, why are you interested in becoming a school principal? In all transparency, I'm not exactly sure I want to be a principal or even an assistant principal. I'm interested in completing this program because I would like to move up in the company, as I say. I want to apply to be the special education coordinator in my district. I feel very strongly about IEPs and working with students with disabilities and helping those teachers write solid IEPs. And in order to do that, I need what was formerly known as the Type 75. So I want to complete this program in order to get my principal licensure. Number two, what strategies would you use to achieve gaps that may exist between socioeconomic groups and/or children of ethnic diversity? So to help eliminate some of those achievement gaps, I would like to find funding to put at least a teacher's assistant in every classroom, not just in special education rooms. The reason for this would be that there is more support in each classroom since the number of students in each classroom keeps growing. The school districts always mention how teachers need to differentiate for their students to aid in a meeting each student where they are. If there was an extra staff member in the room, they could have those small group settings and the teacher could have differentiation within those small groups. So they could have a higher level, they could have a lower level, they could have that medium level, but that way the teacher assistant and the teacher are honing in on those skills that are needed to support all of the students in the classroom. Another strategy would be to have like an ELL teacher with an actual true co-taught model, not just like a glorified assistant in the room, but just an actual teacher to work with the students in the classroom and the two teachers of the room working together to have a solid program in there. Adding those two extra teachers could definitely be beneficial for both the gen ed teacher and the assistant and the ELL teacher to offer those supports. If that's not feasible, I truly believe that us as teachers need more of those PD hours where they are specifically trained on ELL and special education. It's not all teachers are going to go back for like a master's or a doctorate in special education or even in ELL, but we all have those students in our classroom. And in order to help build those gaps, those achievement gaps, we need to support our students better. Number three, envision ideal school. I chose middle school because I work in a middle school. What three characteristics would be evident in that setting? So one of the characteristics to make an ideal school would be a supportive learning environment for all of the students. I want an equal opportunity for all students to learn. So whether they're ELL or they're special education, or whether they're higher level thinking or even like significantly lower level thinking that maybe they're not quite diagnosed. I want the students to get the support they need in all of their classes, not just a specific special education classroom or a specific ELL classroom. Another characteristic would be that family-orientated school where we treat our students like they're our own kids, like how we would treat our own children at home. And building those really strong rapports with our colleagues, because if you have a solid foundation at a school, it's going to show with the students. We need to create a friendly, fun, and loving environment for the students to know that we care about them and that we care about their education. And if we show that we care about their education, they'll care about their own education. The third characteristic is to have measurable achievement and progress, such as that data that we get. So we're required as a public school for those district and state testing, and sometimes we don't use that data to benefit us at all. We just look at the data and was like, okay, move on. But if we really use data to make data-informed decisions on what we're going to teach our students, that's going to be imperative because we don't want to keep working on the same skills that they might already know. We want to work on skills that we could build on. So if like a student already knows how to subtract double-digit numbers, why are we still working on that skill? Let's build on that skill. So making sure we have that measurable data. So some of those strategies that we could have, so that's question number 4, that we would need to put in place for that supportive learning environment. I think all teachers, once again, need to have that proper training of that of ELL or special education or even gifted education, as I'm doing a class currently. I struggle with gifted education. I'm not familiar with it at all. I've never worked with it. When I was in the general education classrooms 2 years ago, I noticed that there were higher level thinking students, but it wasn't until like the middle to the end of the year did we really start to give them some challenging work. And so I feel like we kind of wasted a huge opportunity within the first like trimester of giving them that opportunity to challenge themselves. So I feel like every teacher needs those PD opportunities, but specific PD opportunities, not just let's have a speaker come in. Like, let's have our own colleagues teach about special education. Like, I could give a seminar or a training on special education, or an ELL teacher could teach me something about ELL. Specific PD opportunities. To create that family-orientated school, we need teachers and students and parents for that buy-in. We need more parents' involvement. This could look like having a movie night at school, inviting those families in and just getting together. And I'm sitting there hanging out with them, curled up on the gym floor, like hanging out. Having a family night, just inviting those families in. And then also ways to build rapport with students is if they're having a dance, get on the dance floor with the students. Have fun, make learning fun. In order to build those rapport with colleagues, we could do those team building activities. And I don't mean those boring ones that no one wants to do. I mean like actually having fun, maybe create an outing to go out after school. Or we're playing a fun volleyball game, or maybe we're doing yoga together. Just ways that we can build relationships. Or we can also do opportunities where we're helping each other. I feel like there's just not a lot of time for collaboration and appropriate collaboration. A lot of times when we get together during our plan time, teachers are just kind of venting. Collaboration time of like, how can we help specific students in the classroom? Number 5, where do you still need to improve in leadership? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to backtrack. I forgot to talk about that data-driven, measurable attainment. I want to be able to take the data that we collect and use it to make data-driven decisions, such as when we get that map data, I use it to write IEP goals. I want other teachers to do the same. I think it's so important to take that data that we get and use it to help make those decisions of what should we teach next. I don't think a lot of teachers do that. I love pre and post assessments because we can see the growth of the students. And if we give the pre-assessment, the student already knows the skill, let's move on. And maybe there's some students in the classroom that have the skill, but some students don't. That's where the small group comes in. You can build on the student, you can build with the students that already know the skill, and then reteach or reinforce the skill that maybe the students don't know and build on that. So number 5, where do you still need to improve in leadership? Even though I've been teaching for 6 years, I haven't had much parent conflict. I haven't had to really work with a parent that was agitated or upset about something. I don't personally do well with conflict, so I think that I would like some extra training on conflict resolution, especially when it comes to parents and even staff members. I tend to not voice my opinion when there's a strong voiced team member or colleague that is very opinionated and want things their way. I tend to back down. So I think that that's something that I would need to strengthen when I become a leader. And also, just in general, I don't have much experience in the leadership opportunity. I'm a solid teacher, but I don't, as far as like leading things, I don't have much experience. I'm hoping that in this new school year, as I just recently was accepted to be in the school leadership team for this upcoming school year, I'm hoping to gain some experience, but it will be my first experience in leadership. Number 6, as you reflect on the principles and leaders you have known, what characteristics would you hope to emulate and what characteristics would you want to avoid? So this was an interesting question for me. So I've been in this district for 3 years. My first, actually 4 years actually. My first time in this middle school location, there was a principal who didn't even know my name. So that was interesting to me, as she didn't even know my name. I don't think she really knew the students very well either. She's no longer a principal, as she works in curriculum. However, I've also had a principal currently who tries to be funny but talks kind of badly about students behind their back and has said some not so nice things. That's not a leadership that I would want. That's not something I would want to emulate. I have a new principal and assistant principal, and they are phenomenal. The principal can literally name every single student in the building, in the middle school building. He acknowledges them. He stands there and gives them high fives. During assemblies, he's down in there, he's shooting hoops with them, and that's something that I value. I think building rapport with students is so crucial to be a successful principal. They make or break the school. We have jobs because of our students in the community, and I think that if the students are happy, that's going to help make the parents happy as well. And the parents are the community members, and so I want to be one of those principals. If I become a principal, I want to be one of those leaders that has like that open door policy. I want my staff, I want my students to feel comfortable to come to me. Now, I know that there has to be a fine line between having fun and being, caring, but also getting down to business when need to be. But I'm hoping that with having that fun, good rapport with the students, less business and more fun. Number 7, what else should we know about you that will help us determine your success in the program? I have devoted my career to education. I was a paraprofessional for 7 years while I was earning my bachelor's degree, the last 3 years of that. I've been teaching for 6. I'm an extremely hardworking person. At one point last year, I was working full-time as a teacher. I worked part-time at a local grocery store. I was in my master's program, and I'm a single mom of 2 teenagers. So I am very dedicated and very hardworking. Not only that, I ended up walking away with a 4.0 GPA for my master's, and for all of my educational classes in my bachelor's degree, I had a 4.0 as well. As I did state earlier, I don't necessarily want to be a principal and assistant principal. I don't know. I don't think that that's my calling necessarily. But I'm looking forward to the principal internships to see how that would look. However, I do want to be that special education coordinator because I feel like my strong suit is in special education. And I think it'd be beneficial for not only the parents, but for the staff and for the students, because then the students are getting the support that they need. So not only do I want to help with the IEP process, but I also want to be able to help teachers. And even if they're established teachers, write solid IEPs, make sure that they're giving the right accommodations and modifications, but also to support those general education teachers that have special education students in their classroom. It's really, really important because no matter where you go, there's always a need for extra support in the classroom. And I feel like that would be a great role for me. I appreciate you listening to my interview questions, and I look forward to hearing back. Bye.